All right. Hello out there, and welcome to another episode of Truly Live. Yolanda and I will be right back.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I know I have not always been what you want me to be. Even at times I pushed your sweet love away, but you stay right here beside me, never letting me go. Now I know the love I needed was right here all along. I know that love is enough to forgive all the hurt and pain. Love is enough to remove all guilt and shame. Love is enough to make up for what I made. I know that love is enough. God's love is enough. God's love is enough. God's love is enough. God's love is enough. Oh, I can't imagine living life without you here with me. So glad this love will last an eternity. Oh, what joy and happiness I feel when I call your name. Now it is plain to see your love for me has helped me sustain. I know that love is enough to forgive all the hurt and pain. Love is enough to remove all the guilt and shame. Love is enough to make up for shortcomings. See, I know that love is enough. God's love is enough. Oh, yeah. Love is enough. God's 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 love is enough. Love is enough. Love is trying to find a way to escape all the pressure I feel growing inside of me, because I'm far away from you, knowing that you are my source, so I gotta find my way back to you, Lord. I've gotta find my way back to you, Lord. I've gotta find my way back to you, Lord. Gotta find my way back to you, Lord. I've gotta find my way back to you, Lord. I've gotta find my way. Darkly, I see no light in front of me. Come to the conclusion that you are the eyes that see past all confusion to a place called sanity. You take my hand, I'm free. Lord, I've gotta find my way back to you, Lord. I've gotta find my way back to you, Lord. Gotta find my way back to you, Lord. I've gotta find my way back to you, Lord. I've gotta find my way back to you, Lord. I've gotta find my way back to you, Lord. I've gotta find my way back to you, Lord. Gotta find my way back to you, Lord. I've gotta find my way back to you, Lord. I've gotta find my way. Lord, you said you'd never leave me, nor forsake me, and in all my ways to acknowledge you, and then you'll direct my path if I would keep my mind on you. You said you will keep me, you'll keep me, please keep me, please keep me, Lord. I've gotta find my way back to you, Lord. Gotta find my way back to you, Lord. I've gotta find my way back to you, Lord. I've gotta find my way back to you, Lord. I've gotta find my way back to you, Lord. I've gotta find my way back to you, Lord. Gotta find my way back to you, Lord. I've gotta find.
Truly, the real you loves you. 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 Truly. Truly. Truly.
All right. All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our favorite Friday night show, Truly Live. And we are truly live with you tonight. And we are so excited about tonight's show. I'm here with my lovely wife and partner. And as she grabs her microphone,
Been sitting here all this
she's
time
going to
and no mic.
share with those
Oh
who
my
may be a first time with us that her name is,
I'm Yolanda.
and I'm Oliver, and we are so excited to be here. Thank you so much for joining in with us. This is the hour of transformational power, I guess you might call it, as
Pulled
we,
my earring out.
oh, yeah, as we are your digital transformation teachers, coaches, and it is our pleasure to share with you in this next 60 minutes the greatest gift on earth. We believe it's the greatest gift on earth, don't we?
It is a good gift.
The
It
good.
is.
I believe it's the greatest gift
I
on
think
earth.
well, it is. It is certainly one
It
that is
is the
not
greatest
utilized.
gift on earth. It is the greatest gift on earth.
I think it's one of the most powerful.
It's the most powerful.
Yeah.
I think it's the next best thing to heaven.
Well, it's very close to heaven.
It gets us to heaven's door.
Yes.
Let's say it that way.
Which is where we always are.
Yeah. And then what? God makes the final step
Yes.
and draws us back into it.
Yes.
So,
yes.
anyway, thank you so much. We are so excited tonight. It is Friday, and I just got paid.
Oh.
Might even have some fish.
Woo!
We might even have some fish tonight. That is in a tradition that goes all the way back to Mama Blue. And she's on here tonight, and I know she know what I mean because it was in that tradition that on Friday night, my parents got paid, and they always came home with the best catch. And there was a frying going on. We ain't baked no fish back in my day.
We had fish on
We
Friday,
didn't
too.
grill no fish
Have her
back in
make an
my day.
adjustment.
We didn't bake any fish. We didn't grill any fish. It was a fish fry. It was a fish fry. And my partner is adjusting our camera there. She'll be back here in a second. I think I feel a little lonely when she ain't up here with
Oh
me.
my goodness.
Come on, baby.
Oh my
I feel a little
goodness.
lonely when you ain't with me.
Oh my goodness. All right.
Wow.
That's a little better.
That's a little better.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
I think you got it moved.
I got it up real close. That's why
Yeah.
the width on it. And so we'd actually have to push it back. if
Oh,
you
let me
want
do
to
that. then. Yeah.
Okay, she's going to push the camera back because we want to give you a full view of us. And Londa, you may have to adjust the monitor. You may have to push the monitor back just a little bit. So as you push it back, yeah, you can see the effects, and you can always pull that towards us. But we just want to get a wider view so we can get our shoulders in here. We hope you're having a happy Friday out there. It is springtime. It's one of our favorite times of year. Why? Because it seems like everything is coming back alive, right? It's been dormant for several months, and things are just budding. Depends on where you are. If you were up in Western Canada somewhere, or if you are, way out, in the western provinces, you might still be experiencing some cold weather. But here in the Carolinas, where the Masters is going on this weekend, if you're a golfer, you know what I mean. The Masters is in play, and our favorite players on the course this
You
week.
said in the Carolinas.
In the Carolinas.
The Masters is not in Carolina. in the
Hey, it's
Carolinas.
close. It's in Augusta.
It's close, but that's Georgia.
But anyway, so we get excited this time of
And
year.
everything is beautiful
Everything
and
is
lush
beautiful.
and green
Coming
and
green. Oh my
budding.
God, yes.
Our yard is so pretty. I almost laid down and rolled in it.
I know it. So if you're a first-time viewers, first of all, we like to say hello to all of our patrons.
Hello,
Hello, patrons.
Hello, patrons.
Patrons are those who walk beside us and help create this content, help create this show, and are the recipients of so much more.
They are our partners
They're-
indeed.
Yes, absolutely. So thank you for choosing Truly Live as your source of information, inspiration, transformation, and empowerment. We are the Blues, and we've been married 31 years.
You don't know how long we've been
and we're
married.
parents and grandparents. And
You don't know how long we've been
man,
married.
in fact, we might even be laying our eyes on that grandson not
Ooh,
too many days
I
or moments from now.
Certainly hope so.
We are honored to have close relationships with some of the most phenomenal people in the world.
We have great friends.
And as a result of that, you're going to be the beneficiary of that.
Yeah.
And we're certified transformational coaches and conference speakers and spiritual teachers. And we're also the co-founder of Truly OB, which is a personal development company that is purposed to help others get clarity about their true identity, what we call the real
you.
the real you. And we also help others to get clarity on what's important in their life, and to help them build fields of dreams and visions in your life. So we're all about up leveling you to the best version of yourself. How about that? Does that interest you? We share timeless content, universal principles, transformational practices, and community access with others who are committed to experiencing a deeper, more meaningful life. We also share our decades of experience in our journey together. We share that with you guys. We are a dance-loving, fun-loving couple, and we have leaned heavily into joy and laughter, because joy and laughter do it good like medicine.
Like a medicine.
And so it has helped us get past some of the challenges that we have faced. And so we invite you to do the same. You want to cover this for us?
So we, our why, we want others to know that their life has deep meaning and good purpose. And we help them to consider and pursue the results that matter to them so that they live a focused life with purposed attention.
Absolutely.
Our passion is to help those who remain outside, unknowing, unawakened, and in need of a witness to the truth that is true always. We share a powerful message with a powerful people.
Oh, yes, we do. And
Yes.
you are a powerful people.
Yes.
And so thank you so much again. And we're going to keep moving on into our next segment, which we always like to give and shout outs on our show. There's people that we love to acknowledge. And so always we start out with acknowledging those that support us, which we call our patrons.
Our patrons.
And
our partners.
Our partners. And if you're not a patron, you can become a patron with Truly Live. And maybe we'll share some of that towards the end of the show.
And welcome to all of you who join with us on a regular basis. And if you
Yes.
are new to Truly Live, we would love for you to type in the comments where you're from, your city and state.
Yes.
And we'd love to be able to know where you are.
Yeah, absolutely.
So welcome if this is your first time.
Yes.
And welcome if you're with us all the time.
Yes, this space is always available to every person on the planet on Friday nights from 7 until, you notice I said until, right?
I know that's what you said.
From 7 until Eastern time. And so we thank you for being here.
And you can always watch the replays on
YouTube. You can always watch our replays if you're not available at 7 on our YouTube channel, which is Truly OB. And
TRULY
yes.
OB.
And we're also like to say that we're started with our last week's episode, that we are exclusively live on YouTube now.
Exclusively live on YouTube.
Yes. And but we do use our other platforms like Facebook and Twitter and Instagram to give them a little taste of what we're doing. But we want our audience to view the live here.
The Facebook page is Truly OB. That's TRULY OB. YouTube is Truly OB as well.
Yes. But the YouTube, again, which is where we are doing all our live broadcasts, is what Truly OB.
Truly OB.
All right. So if you're listening to this, you have found us. And we thank you for being here. Also like to give a shout out. This has been ongoing with us, to the people of Ukraine and all others who are being impacted by the events in their country. And without going into the detail, if you've been on this planet in the last 6 weeks, you are much aware of the need for us to hold a space for them
Yes.
and support those that are actually supporting the effort.
Congratulations to the University of South Carolina women's basketball team for winning the NCAA national
Go-
championship.
Go Gamecocks! Yes,
That's a great accomplishment.
that's a great accomplishment for those young ladies, and that's the second national championship that they have won under that current coach.
Yes.
Also, like to congratulate the Jayhawks of the University of Kansas.
I'm very proud of you.
Their men's basketball team for winning the NCAA men's champion, and I salute them. It was a great game, and even though my favorite team, the Tar Heels of the University of North Carolina, we didn't win the championship, but we certainly achieved our goals this year, and I'm proud of them.
And I'm proud of the Duke Blue Devils who made it to the semis.
Absolutely.
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 Great accomplishment. And thank you guys for some absolutely entertaining basketball. There was some really great
basketball.
athleticism
Yes.
and great games this time. I
Yes.
mean, this March Madness was just
Yes.
absolutely phenomenal.
It's nothing like it.
Wow.
There's nothing like it. And hey, you wanna give a shout out to my sister
Well, absolutely.
and our patron?
I would love to give a shout out to your sister, our patron, my soror,
Your
and
s-
sister in love, Brenda Blue. Happy birthday.
yes, my
She-
sister she's my oldest sister, and she's the best sister ever.
she is a great sister.
She's a great sister.
and happy birthday to the rest of you all
And
that have
everybo-
birthdays in April.
Yeah, everyone that will be celebrating a birthday in April, we give you a birthday shout out tonight.
A big virtual birthday hug.
Yes. And last but not least, we like to give a shout out to my mom, Miss
Grandma-
Catherine,
Grandma Blue, love you dearly.
and to Yolanda's dad.
Papa,
Yes, give a shout out to Papa.
love you too.
And
Even
there-
though we know that my dad's not watching, but we know Grandma
Yes.
Blue is on.
Yes.
So
But our parents have made it possible for us, for you and me, to be sharing our unique expression in the world.
yes,
They had to get us here,
yes, they did.
and they did a great job.
Yeah, they did.
And so we're here giving our best effort to express the love that we are. So thank you.
And thank you, Grandma Blue, because we know that she's on. She is she's our biggest supporter of Truly Live. So we
Absolutely.
love her dearly for that.
Absolutely. So we'll move on over to our next segment, which you guys, if you've been around us, you know we are people of gratitude. And there's a saying out of one of the resources that we use, that love is the way we walk in gratitude.
In gratitude.
It's the way we live. We live grateful. What is gratitude? Gratitude is simply being in the present state of thankfulness, appreciation, and kindness. Just being who we are.
It's an energetic and vibratory feel that shifts everything to the present moment,
Hey,
which is why we say, I am so happy and
grateful
grateful now that
right. And it says gratitude. Gratitude is our attitude.
Yes.
Or it's been said that gratitude is the attitude that improves the quality of our life. Being grateful, you can't miss it. Being grateful.
Gratitude hooks us up to the source of supply.
Absolutely. And Yolanda and I are happy and grateful now that we are making intentional decisions in the interest of our growth along with you.
Yes.
So if you are grateful for something in this moment, go ahead and share it in the
Yes,
chat.
Type it in the comments.
Type it in the comment field. And, it's nothing like creating that romantic environment,
Oh.
for, the couples. They like to create the romantic environment.
Oh.
Well, with gratitude, we're creating what I call a communal environment where there is this awareness of community between all of us
Okay.
in all of the universe.
Get back over here in the I did all that to get your shoulders in and you
Yeah.
keep leaning out.
Well, I got the lean going
You
tonight.
sure do.
So we're grateful that you are here. Moving to our next segment, we always like to share inspirational and encouragement quotes. And tonight quote comes from one of our favorite references, A Course in Miracles. And baby, you want to read the quote?
I sure will. Tonight's quote has to do with our topic, forgiveness. Forgiveness, on the other hand, is still and quietly does nothing. It offends no aspect of reality, does not seek to twist it, not seek to twist it to appearances it likes. It merely looks and waits and judges not. That's A Course in Miracles in the workbook section. In part 2, that's
And that's paragraph
paragraph 1 and
1 through 3.
okay.
Right. So if
That
you
would be sentence 1 through
sentence 1 through 3.
paragraph 1, sentence 3.
Yes.
Yes.
So there you have it. And great quote, great inspiration. And it's a great lead into our Truly Life lessons tonight. And I just love this quote, Londi.
Yeah.
It says that true forgiveness sits quietly and still, and it does nothing.
Love it.
True forgiveness does nothing. And it also says that it merely looks and it waits and it what? Judges not.
Mm.
Oh man. Wouldn't that be the way that anyone would want to show up in the world, without judgment and stillness and quietness, not being retaliatory, but it does what? It seeks merely, it don't seek to twist things, but it merely looks and waits and it judges not. And so
Wow.
that is a great lead in to our Truly Life lesson for tonight. But before we get into that, we want to take care just of a little business. Won't you, gang? Don't you agree?
Yes.
We're going
let's
to take care of a
care
little business. We'll be right back.
Would you look at the time? It's tax time. You already know H&R Block does taxes, but here's what you may not know when you file with H&R Block, like how you can get expert help in person or virtually. Plus, our tax pros average 10 years of experience. You can even request to work with the same tax pro every year, and your biggest possible refund is always guaranteed. No one offers more ways to help with your taxes than H&R Block. At H&R Block, help is here.
Our good friend and partner,
Friend of Truly Live.
friend of Truly Live and partner of Truly
And
Live,
partner of
Chris
Truly Live,
Wilson,
Chris
who's
Wilson.
offering
Some
all the
phenomenal- yes.
comprehensive tax services, one-stop shop. And boy, we don't have but very long, maybe 10 days? Yeah, 10 days left. So you got to get those taxes done. And if you need some last-minute advice or help, just call Chris and he'll be happy to assist you. And with that said, we're going to move into our Truly Life lesson session for tonight. And tonight, I am so excited about what we're going to share, the content, because it's one of the most favorite, my most favorite content to share in any arena, because it is timely, and I can say it's timeless. And I'm just excited about the greatest gift on earth, which is what I call it, and it's called forgiveness. So tonight our subject is forgiveness. And you want to open up by, we always like to share what the reference book says about forgiveness before we get into our own point of view. But this definition is coming from.
You went to Wikipedia?
Went to Wikipedia,
Oh, my
man.
goodness.
Sometimes Wikipedia has some good information.
well,
So
look at
what
you.
does Wikipedia say about
Wikipedia
forgiveness?
says forgiveness in a psychological sense is the intentional and voluntary process by which one may initially feel victimized, undergoes a change in feelings and attitude regarding a given offense, and overcomes negative emotions such as resentment and vengeance.
Yes.
Wow.
So I like that. You like that?
Okay, Wikipedia.
Okay, Wikipedia. And so tonight we're going to have a conversation around what I think is so important, really vital subject, uh, which we call forgiveness. And um, I like what Wikipedia says, that that even though there's a sense of being victimized, one undergoes a what change.
Yes.
So something happens.
Well, even before that, it says it's intentional and voluntary.
Involuntary.
It's an intentional and voluntary process.
Absolutely. And so one goes through one makes a decision.
Mhm.
You remember we said a few weeks back when we were talking about another subject, that there's a famous statement out there that says, in between stimulus and response, there's a what? Space.
There's a space.
So we're stimulated by something that happens outside of us in our
Mhm.
environment. And in many cases, anytime we're stimulated, there is going to be a response, even if we don't respond. The lack of response is also a response, correct? And
Yes.
in most cases, it's the best response. So it says in between.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I would call it the best response, but it is certainly a response that allows us to do no further harm.
Do no further harm. Absolutely. And so in this space between being stimulated and making a response, it is said that there is a space, and that's really true. And it said that it's in that space is where we have the power to choose.
Yes.
We have this space in which we can make a decision of choice of how we respond, or even if we respond at all. And so it is in that space that we have the ability to exercise the best choice, the best response.
Yes.
And so forgiveness, in a sense, to me, is that space where we choose not to respond in kind if we feel like we've been unfairly treated, if we feel like we been betrayed. I mean, because you don't get through this life without feeling that you unfairly treated. You don't get through this life without feeling that you've been betrayed. I mean, it's just a part of the journey in a world that has conditioned most of us in fear.
Yeah.
And so,
and where we're learning to navigate.
Right, and where we're learning to navigate in a better way. This Truly Live is all about sharing principles and ideas with our audience to help all of us become better expressions of ourselves. In other words, we have to learn some new skill sets in order to navigate life, or to align ourselves with the principles of life, so that we can receive the good of life that is offering us.
Yes.
And so tonight's skill set, I would say forgiveness is a skill set. I would say it's a skill set, because without it, we would resort to what? We would resort to retaliation. We would retort to anger. We would retort to basically to holding ourselves hostage, covering up the reality of who we are as love and as light. And
so we're going to actually be speaking of forgiveness from the perspective of giving one perception for another.
Yes.
So that's how we're going to be. That's the position that we're going to be discussing forgiveness.
Right.
From.
The position that we're coming from is that true forgiveness is merely a shift in our perception.
Yes.
So if you look at the word forgiveness or forgiving, that means that we are forgiving up one way of seeing a situation for another way of seeing.
Yes.
And as we get into this, it's going to make more sense to you. And coming from a transformational point of view, also, as we continue this journey of teaching this transformational system.
And this is still part of our wellness.
This is still part of our wellness focus, and it's
focus.
also a part of the
Bridging.
the bridging process, or the process that we're in the process of moving towards and experiencing a life that we would love living. This part of it is, now that we have a dream, now that the dream is ready to be sown, it's ready to be brought forth. But there has to be, just like in farming, it says any farmer knows soil must be as healthy as the seed for the crop to prosper. You a
Yes.
farmer, you can tell us about that.
Oh boy.
So in farming, before the farmer plants the seed, he has to prepare
The ground.
prepare the ground or the soil, because the seed can only grow or extend itself as much as the health of the soil itself, right? So for us who are on this journey of transformation and moving in the direction of the dream or the vision that we love to experience in our life, now that we have that blueprint, now that we have that dream, we have to prepare or clear or cultivate a space of space for the dream to emerge in. And so certain things we have to pull out, certain things we have to put in.
Yes.
And one thing that we have to do in order for our dream to grow is that we have to remove all resentment, all grievances. In other words, we have to forgive. Because just like in the natural, seeds will not grow in soil that is not proper. Likewise, our dreams, our visions, it's hard for them to come through where there is resentment and grievance. So, in other words, we can't grow a healthy dream in toxic soil.
That's right.
So,
And we're actually talking about liberating ourselves from constriction
yes,
through this practice
absolutely.
Of forgiveness, because
Absolutely.
we're discussing
Right.
forgiveness as a practice.
As a practice,
Yeah.
because everything we talk about here, Truly Alive, is about our expansion.
Yes.
And the expansion happens in certain environments,
Yes.
certain vibrations, and holding on to grievances and resentments towards people, places, or thing is not an expansive practice, is it?
No.
It's a contractive practice. It
Constrictive.
keeps things from growing in our life,
Yes.
and it definitely affects our psychological and mental and physical well-being.
Well, so forgiveness and compassion cleanses our emotional and energetic bodies, our minds, our hearts of negative energy. We can use the practice repetitively to rearrange the frequency of the energy that we're in. Because remember, the energy we hold is the energy that we're in. Okay. And remember, and
When you say the energy that we're in, that means what? That in that particular moment, we are always we are always extending whatever energy that we're in. And if the energy is contractive, then we're not growing. We're going to be contracting.
That's right.
If the energy is liberating
and free flowing, yes,
then the things that we're looking to bring forth or to experience are free flowing, right?
Yes.
So it's not so it takes less energy.
Yes.
Okay.
So we can use the practice of forgiveness repetitively to rearrange the frequency that we're living, so we can make welcome the life that we love to live.
So just like gratitude, forgiveness moves energy.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's a Mary Morrissey statement.
Yeah. Wow. I like that.
I do too.
Well, if you're asking yourself the question, if you're wondering if you have forgiveness work to do, I would say, yeah. I would say, or I would answer that with another question. I would say, are you breathing? So the answer to that is yes. Everyone has forgiveness work to do. Why? Because we all hold opinions and perceptions.
We all need to cleanse our emotional, mental, psychological, and spiritual self.
Absolutely. So we all hold opinions and perceptions about things with incomplete information.
Yeah.
And a lot of time that causes us to have an opinion about someone or about something that is incomplete.
Yeah.
And it causes us to hold on to that. And many times it is not complete. And so all of us, all of us are always having forgiveness work to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's the same way that we bathe our physical body, cleanse our physical body
Every day?
on a regular basis.
Well, we're supposed to.
Yes, we are supposed
You know,
to.
we talk about that all the time.
I don't know what you're talking about. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But the same way that we cleanse our physical body on a regular basis, it is necessary that we cleanse our emotional, our mental, psychological, and our spiritual self.
Yes.
And when we do this, it gives us the ability to allow more positive energy into our life so that we can now direct all of our energy, our life energy, into successfully building the life that we would love to live.
Yes, absolutely. So ask yourself another empowering question is, have you ever felt unfairly treated? And the answer to that question for everyone would be what?
At some point or another, most people have.
It would be yes.
Yes, the
So
majority
you
of
don't
people
get through this life without that. So we need to know how to navigate that experience.
Yes.
And so true forgiveness work will eventually recognize, and this is coming from a point of view of a spiritual point of view from A Course in Miracle, it says true forgiveness work will eventually recognize that what you thought was done to you actually did not occur. And you say, Oliver, what do you mean didn't occur? I was there. I felt it. I was there. I witnessed it. Well, we're going to explain that, right?
Yes.
So nothing frees our heart like forgiveness. And so when
you just went directly to conclusion.
Nothing frees our heart like forgiveness. So when it says that, eventually through the forgiveness process, what we recognize is what we thought happened to us really didn't happen. Because what we know for sure is that every expression or every act from a person is either an expression of love
or a cry for
or a call
a
for
call
love,
for love.
regardless of the situation. In other words, what we're saying is when we choose to act unseemly towards someone for whatever reason is going on in our life, it's never about the person, really it's about us. But anytime we choose to act unseemly, or it is a call for love, that we're calling out for love, because this is something that we really don't want to do. We don't want to hurt anyone. At our true nature is love. And so
yes.
our truest nature is love.
Yes.
And love, what? Love only shares what it is. So love doesn't share pain and anguish. Love doesn't unfairly treat.
It can't, because that's not what love is.
That's not what love is.
So the same principle, since we were talking about farming earlier, the same principle applies. The principle of the seed, where every seed produces after its own kind.
Right.
So there is not a time when we plant watermelon seeds and expect to harvest cabbage.
Yes.
We don't plant apple seeds and expect to harvest
oranges.
We don't plant corn and expect to harvest
butter beans.
Okay. So
the
same,
principle,
so the
right.
same
So it's a
way that
universal
every
principle.
seed reproduces after its own kind, this is something that can really help us to see where we are. Because
Yes.
remember, what we said was the energy we hold is the energy that we're in. So if we are having the energy of explosive, violent, resentment,
Projection,
attack, guess what? That's what we're in.
That's the energy that we're in.
The energy that we're in.
And the only thing that we can extend in that moment
is that same
energy. And so that is what the root cause of the decision that we make to attack another
Yes.
person, or to unfairly treat someone,
That's right.
or to betray someone. So, and also because we are love in our nature, we would have to forget ourselves. We would have to, in that moment, forget who we really are as love in order to participate in an act that is unloving.
So now that same principle of the seed, let's take that just a little bit further. So everything that is created has the ability to grow.
Yes, everything.
Everything has, and it has that ability within it to grow, right?
It's inherent in its nature.
It exactly. So since everything that is created has built within it the ability to grow, think of this. Absolutely everything created has built within it the ability to grow, absent from our input.
Yes.
Now, how do we know that? We have seen over and over again. We'll see, like, if you're driving up in the mountains and there's just these sheer cliffs of rocks. I mean, it's just rocks. Thick, thick rocks. And then all of a sudden you'll see a tree or a crop of trees, or some shrubbery. And you wonder, how in the world did the tree or the
Grow
shrubs
out of the rock.
How in the world did that happen? It took very little, because there's very little soil there.
But it was enough.
But it was enough.
Right.
So
So that's how the environment that we live in, this universe that we live in, it will grow whatever seed we plant into it.
Well,
Our life is like a seed.
And
so
think
right.
about this. Like, we're looking at people's when we're walking in the neighborhood and all. We're looking at the beautiful, and even our flowers that
Yes.
we had, the bulbs that we planted have
Yes.
come up and they were so pretty. Well, there's also some other stuff that we did not plant.
that are coming up.
Okay, so think about this. When we think about things growing without our input, we don't plant weeds. We do not plant weeds in our gardens. We don't do that. So now just think about that. Think about that law, and think about that law where it pertains to resentment. If every seed produces after its own kind, resentment can only produce resentment.
It can only produce resentment. So to hold on to resentment, or to hold on to a grievance,
anger,
or,
any kind
or
of
a grievance,
any of that,
is to what? It's like you're planting that seed into the universe, and what? It will multiply back unto us.
Yes.
It'll multiply back in our own life, and we're thinking we're holding it
Against
to hurt someone else.
But
But in reality,
Yeah.
we're hurting our own self.
Right.
Have you noticed when you have when there is a separation within relationships, when there's a rift within relationships, and we're withholding our love, we're withholding our affection, we're withholding our best, you ever notice that when that happens and you are initiating that, you begin to feel bad? You ever notice that? That you're doing it to try to hurt someone else, but you don't understand, well, why am I feeling the pain?
Mhm. Mhm.
And we're feeling the pain because we're not aware of that fact that we're holding, like Yaulanda said, we're holding that energy. We're planting that seed. And since we're doing it, we're going to get the fruit of the fruit of our planting, the fruit of our labor.
Which is why it is in our best interest
Yes.
to plant, to nurture, and to grow love.
Absolutely. Which is who we are.
Yes.
And the lesson of forgiveness will come around in our life every day.
Every day.
Every day we have the opportunity. In between that stimulus and that response in that space, we're going to have the opportunity to make a decision
Yes.
about whether we forgive or whether we hold on to. Forgiving is, again, like we said, it is that we'll give up one perception about the situation for another. In other words, we choose to see the person, the situation, or the circumstance for what it truly is, and not necessarily for its call or cry for love.
Yes. Yes.
And in so doing, it gives us the strength like it said, we read earlier from the quote where what it we what does it say? It says that, remember, it says forgiveness. It is still and quietly, and it does nothing.
It says it is still and quietly
And
does
quietly does
nothing.
nothing. It doesn't respond. It doesn't do a knee jerk reaction, right?
Yes.
And then uh, it says it merely looks and waits and judges not. So that's a process there, a pause, because we know that the feelings and emotions and the psychological reactions that we could have if we just followed those emotions and those feelings, um, and have no discipline towards them. We know how explosive that the human mind can be.
Yeah.
And so we have to be aware of that. Okay. First of all, we have, it's the awareness that is important here. Again, always it's the awareness. And so as we become aware of the bigger space, the bigger picture, like in this room, we're in this room, right? This is a big room in the house, right? And the day I was thinking this morning, I said, when I walked in the room, I said, what is the first thing you notice? I asked myself the question. And I thought about, well, all of the things in the room, all the objects. And then I heard say, well, what about the space in the room? And generally, we don't notice the space. We're so focused on what? We're so focused on the object, or the objects of, or the objects of our what activity, the events. We're so engrossed in what's going on that we don't have the broader perspective, right? The bigger picture of the fact that what we are actually, without us, there is no events or activity or sensations, that we actually providing the energy for this event. And so when we are coming from this broader perspective, then that gives us the awareness to pause, the awareness to pause and to what, and to wait and judge not.
Well, we think that when we forgive, we think that the person is getting off, and that is never the case. And there are some tremendously painful and egregious things that can occur, that people can do. But to be broken is no reason to see all things broken. That's from the Book of Awakening by Mark Nepo. He's a poet. And that is something that I've thought about often. To be broken is no reason to see all things broken.
Right.
It's just one thing. Instead of it being the one thing, we see it as everything.
And that becomes our mode of operation when we lack the skill set, right, to see things differently. When we lack the skill set of forgiveness, which what it says is what we exchange one perception, seeing all things broken, for another, seeing all things as one. And so again, all of this really takes place in our psychological and our mental self. Even though we get triggered by the things that are happening in the physical, but the decision and the power to choose is in our mental and psychological strength.
Well, think about this too. So while there can be tremendous disappointment and overwhelming pain associated with egregious, intimate betrayals that can result from actions that others choose to engage or take, that we may not even be willingly participating in. Okay. We choose how we respond and do not have to stay in that state of utter pain.
Absolutely.
Because suffering is a choice as well.
Suffering is a choice as well.
That quote is by Yaulanda.
All right. We need to use that one. And so, to kind of wrap up what we're saying, here's a good natural example. It says that as long as there is someone that's jailed or imprisoned, and we do that by what? Holding grievance, holding resentments, not forgiving. So when we do that, we are jailing our brother or sister.
So as long as there has to be a jailer,
it says as long as there's someone that is jailed, there must be a what? That must be a jailer. There's someone holding on to the what? Unforgiveness. Somebody holding on to the resentment. Somebody's holding on to the
So you can't hold
to the
someone
grievance.
in jail unless
You
there's
are
someone
that's
there to
to
make
make
certain that they
they're in jail.
stay in jail.
So that means
So the person that is jailed
along with
is
the jailer,
jailed along with
the
the jailer,
jailer.
because the jailer has to be there too.
Yeah, that's like the saying that we drank poison,
Oh, here it is.
hoping someone else would what die, and that's insane, right?
So Buddha stated, a person who holds resentment is like someone who picks up a hot coal, all the while expecting another person to be the one who
get
gets burned. And then another one is holding resentment is like drinking a little bit of poison every day
And
expecting the other person to die, the person that you have the
that's
grievance,
insane, right?
the person that you have
Yeah.
the grievance against. And this is why we say
Right.
over and over again, the energy we hold
Is the energy that we're in.
the energy that we're in.
It's the energy that we're in, and so forgiveness frees the one being jailed, but most importantly, it frees the jailer to a life of greater freedom,
Yes.
fullness, and joy. So when we release people to the point where we say, well, in reality, they were just crying out for love. And so therefore, what I thought my brother did, it did not occur. And that's what we meant earlier when we said that. And we're not denying what may happen in the natural, but what we also is acknowledging that on a grander vibration of awareness, and from a mature state, from a transformational point of view, what we're saying is that ultimately true forgiveness can get to the place where you say, what? I released my brother for what he did not
Yes.
even do. He was crying out for love. And so as this aware person now, we understand that releasing that person not only releases ourselves, but it helps move that person through the healing process. And so, as we said earlier, for every act is a what? Either we're expressing the love that we are, or we're what? Calling out for love. We're hurting. And in some way, the only way we know how to do it sometimes, if we're unskillful, is to hurt someone else. Okay. And so we understand that. We're mature now. We understand it. And so now we be the what? We take the high road and not only help ourselves, but we help our brother and our sister.
I want to read this one right quick. To forgive, it's a decision we make to release a person from the feelings of anger we have at them. It's strange, but sometimes it's hardest of all to forgive someone we love. This quote is from A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. That was speaking of Lloyd Vogel, played by Tom Hanks, which was adapted from the Mr. Rogers Neighborhood, from
Yes.
Fred Rogers.
Yes.
But and it's a powerful thing to make the decision to release a person from the feelings of anger that we have against them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that's why we say, Yaulanda and I, even in our own personal experience, even in my own personal experience, we know that forgiveness is almost like a theme of our life.
Yes.
We've had many different forgiveness opportunities that that help us to grow and mature, though painful that they seem to be in the moment. But when we learn the lesson of forgiveness, the joy and the peace that it brings, with the understanding, most of all, once we get the understanding, is so much more valuable than the temporary pain that we may have had to experience. And it helps us to really understand the love that we are, the love nature that we are, that love is really impregnable. Love is really impregnable. It can't be hurt. Who we really are really can't be hurt. Who we really are uh, the word I said impregnable, right?
Yeah.
And actually, in our truest self, we're invulnerable. We can't be destroyed as the infinite eternal beings that we are. And so it's all about growth and expansion. And it's we need this awareness. We need this uh, skill set in order to bridge the gap in our life, so that we don't allow the the ignorance or the lack of knowledge or the lack of wisdom of how to navigate difficulties to help bridge the gap between what we desire and where we are in this moment. So it's all about the growth process.
Mhm.
And forgiveness is one of the healthiest ideas and principles that we can learn.
Yes.
So with that said, are we finished? I mean, our time is we really got good time here. We're doing good tonight.
Wow. Well, look at
And
us.
so that's why I say that, to me, forgiveness is the greatest. I say, to me, this is my saying. To me, forgiveness is the closest thing to heaven here on earth.
Yes.
We don't in heaven, in reality, there's no need for forgiveness, but we need it here in this three-dimensional, and it is the greatest gift that we can have. And if you'll notice, in all traditions, that forgiveness is one of the central themes in every religion, every uh, uh, a traditional
Every organized
practice.
religion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is a
Most,
central theme.
yeah.
Why is it a central theme? Because it is that which causes us to remember who we are.
Yes.
It helps us to remember our true identity, which we call the real you.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's our lesson tonight in forgiveness. And we thank you so much for being with us. This has been great.
This has been great.
Yes.
If you would like to, if you found this episode to be helpful, we'd ask you to please like and share so that other people can get this good information.
Absolutely.
And if you would like to contact us, you can do so via email at okblues@trulyob.com. That's okblues@trulyob.com.
Yes.
So you can email us and we'll.
And if you'd like to become a partner with us, where you can partner with us in helping us to create and distributing this content in the world, you can do so by going to www.patreon.com/truly live. And there you will find 4 different levels in which you can join with us as partners, and all the benefits for the partnerships at the different levels are shown there in our patrons platform. Thank you so
Yes.
much. And with that, what we're going to take it away?
What we're going to do is we are so grateful. We're so happy and grateful for you guys being with us. And we appreciate your time that you invest as we all stay on our growing edge. So, what we like to do is use the loving kindness meditation from the Dalai Lama. We say it as a blessing. So, we'd like to bless all of you who have joined with us and those that you hold near and dear in your heart.
May you be truly happy.
May you live in peace.
May you live in love.
May you know the power of forgiveness.
And may you live in the recognition that your life has deep meaning and good purpose.
That's from the Dalai Lama. We add, may you live in the awareness of who you truly are. We extend this blessing to every being on the planet. And so it is.
And so it is. And so it shall be. And that is our episode 36 of Truly Live tonight. Thank you so much for being on with us. And we are going to take this thing out of here. And my name is Oliver.
I'm Yaulanda.
And we are the
The
OK
OK
Blues. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Smile, baby. Bye bye.